Hey guys, wanted to make this video. Going to try to keep it short if I can. But this is a new law that's coming out of California, and I know a lot of us have said that we don't put much into California law because they got a lot of issues out there anyway. But this is one of the worst anti-gun laws that I think has the best chance of getting adopted by other states. Probably in the next few years, I would guess, using Cali as a test state. And what this is, and I'll go through the bill a little bit. I'll put links to everything in the description. But what this is, it's an Assembly Bill 1927, and it's a voluntary list. Now, we all know about the NICS background check. You go buy a firearm, they run your background, you get approved, you go home, or you don't get approved, whatever. Well, this is going to be where instead of law enforcement, doctor, whoever putting you on that prohibited list, it's a voluntary list. Meaning you put your own name on the list to say, I am legally signing over my rights to buy or own a firearm. Now, on the surface, that sounds pretty crazy. But let me explain a little bit of why I think this is such a dangerous thing. For one, it's easy to sweep this under the rug because they're not actually banning a firearm or ammunition or devices, none of that. So on the surface, it doesn't seem that bad. You think, well, what kind of fool would put themselves on the list? But California has a do not sell list, which is a prohibited persons list. It shows up when they do their background checks. So if you've been involved in a crime or whatever that would put you on the list, that's kind of the typical way it happens. It takes law enforcement or some entity to put you there. You've done something wrong. Well, in this particular instance, let's say, and it even gives these examples of, you're going through a tough time. You call your doctor, a mental health place, suicide hotline, things of that sort. All of those are, great things that need to be there. But problem is, now this bill is going to require those suicide hotlines, mental health places, and all of that to push this where you won't really have to do a whole lot to put your name on the list. It's going to be a website. You go to the site, you fill it out, boom, you're done. And they're really going to be pushing this for anybody that they feel, well, is a danger. You called the doctor, hotline, whatever, so obviously you've got some kind of issue going on. So instead of them worrying about fixing your issue, whatever the reason was you called, they're going to push their agenda of get this person on the list, get him to give up his rights. Now, they got it put in there in a nice, sweet little package that, after your issues are cleared up or whatever, you can apply then to be removed from the list. But we know that'll never happen. Once you're on it, you're done. So, and all of these suicide hotlines, that are maintained and ran by the state, either maintained or operated. So that would just be a simple classification issue there. It would inform callers on how to get on this list to put yourself on it. So it's a voluntary do not sell list, and I can see it in a lot of other ways. Campaigns could be put out for, they could target women, let's say. You got your boyfriend or your husband, that kind of thing, and men have done a lot of stupid things over the years to please a woman. We know that. Some of us maybe even fall into that category. But they could easily put a campaign out there, if you really love your wife, girlfriend, whatever, then, to prove it, you'll put yourself on this list so she won't feel in danger because she will feel safer now because her man is on the list and there's no danger of him getting a hold of a firearm now. That kind of thing. And you can't transfer, you can't even, loan your gun to someone at the range. There's nothing. So this is why I feel this is a very dangerous thing, because it can fly under the radar, because most pro-gun people only look at stuff as, oh, they're banning, magazines over 10 rounds. They're going to ban armor-piercing ammo. They're going to ban bump stocks or this, that, and the other. And that really gets people fired up, and everybody's calling congressmen and, rallies here and there and protesting and all that good stuff. But this kind of stuff here really falls under the radar. And I think that's, their intentions. These people that write these crazy bills, I mean, they've got almost like a marketing team. They know how to do this kind of stuff. And they'll usually group this in with other issues that where everybody will focus on the stuff I just mentioned. The larger capacity magazines or semi-auto whatevers, NFA items, bump stocks, whatever. People will focus on that, whereas they don't even really care about that. Because, you could have every gun in the world be legal, but if you can get the population to get themselves on a list where they can't buy it or own it, then what makes a difference? It's sort of like walking into the biggest gun store in the world and it's got every known firearm from your simplest 22 up to your biggest full auto machine guns and all the stuff, but yet you have no money. You're 100% broke and will never get any money. It's all there. It's all legal to buy. But what good is it? You don't have any money. You've got no way to buy it. It's sort of the same issue here. I think they're actually thinking that this could actually change the perspective of Californians. Stuff will be legal, but possibly. Or maybe they can slow down their attack on the Second Amendment and kind of pacify everybody for a while. But in reality, they get you thrown on the list, you're done. And I can also see another big way this could be used. They're already mentioning they're going to push the idea through doctors and mental health places. But let's say you go to court. Okay, you are back taxes maybe on a business, or, I don't know, you've got some unpaid parking tickets and got to go in front of a judge. It could be anything. It don't have to be anything super serious or something that's anything other than just monetary. Not any violence or anything like that, but you're in court for whatever reason. They could say, okay, Mr. John Q. Public there, you owe us X amount of dollars. Fines, penalties, late fees, all that. We'll give you a few options here. Let's say you can pay your fine, which would have to be done within, we'll give you, a week or less. Or you can go to jail for, let's say, a year or so, which nobody wants to do that. You'll lose your business, lose everything. Or, let's say we got this new option here. Put your name on this nice little list here, this voluntary gun thing here, and don't worry, later you can get your name back off of it. This is just a temporary measure, so you don't have to worry too much. Just go ahead and sign this, then we'll waiver all that other stuff and make it go away, and you can just go on about your business. Most people, well, I don't want to say most, but a lot of people would happily sign it because, hey, my fines and my debt are now gone. I get to go home tonight instead of jail, and it appears that my life is unchanged. And it just continues on like that, so it would be used as a plea bargain deal. So, because they try to make it sound that you can no longer, you can get your name off of it, I'm trying to say. Which we know that will not happen. And it says here, a person registered on the California Do Not Sell list, excuse me, may subsequently file a petition in the Superior Court of the country in which the person resides, requesting to have his or her name removed from the registry. The court, after hearing, shall order removal of the person's name from the registry if he or she establishes by preponderance of the evidence that he or she is not at an elevated risk of suicide. Upon receiving this, they'll take the name off the list and you can kind of go back as usual. But, you know, there are so many ways they can say that you're a suicidal risk. You know, they can make up just about anything. So that really doesn't even matter. The fact that a person has requested, oh, this is kind of interesting. The fact that a person has requested to be added to the registry, is on the registry, has requested to be removed or has been removed from the registry, is confidential with respect to all matters of health care. But people still don't want more of their business out there. Confidential, but to who? How many times have we seen confidential material be leaked out to the public? It happens. A violation of confidentiality, well, none of that would ever happen. People violate those rules all the time, and you know, it says that the person whose confidentiality is violated by an inquiry or adverse reaction may bring civil action, so you can sue your doctor and all that. But who's got the money to do that? You know, all those healthcare people have malpractice insurance and things to protect them from this, so. Yeah, and it goes back to state-run everything, and that's another point of the state wanting to be in charge of your health care. You know, all these people want socialist health care. Well, this is one reason it's a problem. They'll be pushing agendas like this because they will be government-run, government-maintained agencies, and you know, you'll have no other laws. It'll be the laws that they want, and you'll have no say-so in it. There won't be a set of laws for what the government can do versus what private entities can do, because there won't be anything private anymore. So I can definitely see this happening. I do want to go back here for a second. And there's been a little bit of updates to this, and this is what's currently passed through California law. Nothing's been enacted as of yet, and this particular part of it here will go away on its own in January 1st, 2024. But what this basically is stating here is this is a review or kind of an idea. Everybody's going to pitch ideas of how to make this work. This is to give examples, you know, of this new website or how to actually make this work. So, the department shall provide a report of its findings and recommendations by January 1st, 2020. So, they're going to kind of test things out, see what works, what doesn't work, and take it from there. So, that's where they're at now. So, you can definitely see some form of this will eventually get put into practice, and they can go back and re-amend this and shove it through, you know, next year if they want to. Because it says no later than 2020. So if they come up with a good idea next week, well, if they want to, they can sure run it through. So I'll leave links to all this stuff in the, like I said, I'll put it in the description or pinned comment. But it's something I think everybody needs to really pay attention to. You know, don't just look at these anti-gun measures as, you know, like the David Hogg poster boy running around that wants to ban everything. Those are, you know, I hate to put it this way, but those are kind of the least of our worries. You know, they're right out there, headline news, we're going to ban everything. That's more of a diversion to focus your attention away from stuff like this, which I see being an even worse factor. Because like I said, you know, you could have every gun in the world legal, not a problem, but if you're on a list where you can't legally buy it, then what good is it? What good is it even being for sale? You know? Like I say, you walk into the fancy gun shop that's got every firearm and accessory in the world available for sale, but you have no money and you'll never get any money. Then what good is it? It's like going to a museum. You look at it behind the glass and you go home. I mean, that's it. So pay attention, guys. If anything comes up in any states of anybody that watches the video, let me know. I'll look into it and try to do a video on it and explain it the best I can. But I know this went a little longer than I wanted it to, but I just wanted everybody to know how dangerous this particular law could be and how easy it can be thrown out there and passed with very little opposition, because it's not a headline article of we're going to ban items. Yeah, they're not trying to ban an item. They're trying to get you to voluntarily sign your rights away. Don't do it, guys. Fight back as best as you can and stay safe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.